Good morning, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jess Moyer. Welcome back to EverTalk Live. Happy New Year, and thanks for tuning in. Monday through Friday, we are live at 9 a.m. Pacific time for your daily dose of happiness in Hollywood, a little pop culture and positivity, and it feels good to be back.
It does.
Doesn't it?
It feels like forever.
Forever. I'm not going to lie, though. I feel like, what kind of Monday is this?
This is true. I know. That 9 a.m. right now feels like 2 a.m. to me. It feels super early, even though, I went to Miami, and East Coast time would be noon. But it feels super early right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I was so nervous this morning. I was like, did Rob make it back from Miami? Miami has kidnapped Rob Mack.
Oh,
Where
man.
have you been? Did you have a good time?
Oh my gosh, the most amazing time. So my brother, my dad, met up with those folks there, and then also my friend Melanie and all these other people.
So it was like
awesome.
boys trip Miami.
Yes, it was a boys trip in Miami. It was a very boys trip. Yeah, good point.
And you also were speaking, right?
I also did a speaking gig. Good friend Lisa McCourt, she has this little event she throws every month called the Love Shack. So I did that, spoke there. And
wait, like awesome. The song?
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
How do you not serve Love Shack? Right?
I know, it's really catchy.
So what was your talk? What did you say?
It was mostly about, I really only talk about happiness, really, but it was about love and the ways in which happiness and love play into each other. I think a lot of us prioritize love, which makes sense, but then you end up with people that are quote unquote loving but not very happy, or they're in love and they're not very happy. And what's the point of love if you're miserable?
What is the point?
Right? How was your holiday, Jez?
Oh, it was so good. I stayed here in Los Angeles, and it's the best time of year to be in LA because basically nobody else is in town.
I know, it's like the apocalypse.
Absolutely. You can make it from, Hollywood to Santa Monica in 23 minutes. It's insane.
Man.
But I had a chance to spa. I went to the Ola Henriksen spa.
Yes.
Special thanks to Van Soto. And it was incredible. I had a Moroccan bath. I had a massage. I got that red carpet facial, giving me my 2020 glow.
That's why you're glowing right now.
That's
you're always
right.
glowing, but you're especially glowing today.
Well,
Yes.
Thank you. I had to get ready because I went to the book launch for Courtney Friel.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Fantastic.
Yes.
News bar. It's awesome.
Breaking news, and also getting engaged.
Yes.
Yeah, her husband was there. That was so fun. Another fun thing that I found, I want to share this with you guys. Special thanks to EverSmile.
Oh.
Check this out. This is going to be one of my go-tos in 2020, right? So when you don't have a chance to brush up, you can literally whiten and fresh.
Oh, this is great. Wow, talk about an innovative idea. So what, you go have a glass of wine and then your teeth are...
Glass of wine, you know that awkward moment. You go to the ladies' room and you're like, and I have purple teeth now.
Yeah.
Here's your solution. Or you go on a coffee date, there you go.
This is great, man. I've been using those, I order those Crest white strips like it's, they're going out of style.
Rob, you
but
have
these...
the whitest smile ever.
Well, that's because of the white strips. So now
You're
white and
so
fresh.
handsome.
I love that. So appreciate it, Jez.
In other news,
yes,
I decided to wake up even earlier, even though I'm an out-of-work.
What? Why?
Right.
But why?
Because of the opening bell.
Yeah.
I have a new show called The Trading Bell, and I have to be live to make the opening bell when the markets launch. There's a little bit of B-roll from the show I started just last week. It was so much fun and kept me busy over the holiday. And you can see that I'm shooting right here from the set. The sun isn't even up yet. I mean, that is wild
That's
to me.
insanely early.
But
and I love the title. Trading Bell with the E.
Trading Bell, yes.
I get it.
I say I went from walking runways to watch lists, which you can see right there on the screen, from Hollywood to heat maps. And it has been such an incredibly fun journey, navigating viewers through the wonderful world of stock market.
How cool is that?
Trading.
From Hollywood to heat maps.
Hollywood to heat maps.
You got the one-liners today, all the zingers. I love it.
Oh, yes.
That's fantastic.
Exactly. Thank you. Look, Mom, I read the Wall Street Journal and I drink rosé, so we have a closing bell moment too.
Oh.
So I do a recap of the trading day,
Yeah.
and then I post everything on Instagram, of course, at the Trading Bell. I'm really excited about this.
Jez, you have taken this entrepreneurial night class to heart. I mean, that's incredible.
Absolutely. Setting myself for 2020. My mantra this year is money, 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 2020. Just joking. No. Love, abundance, and freedom.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I'm really, really harnessing that.
So if people have money out there, they can give it to you. You can trade.
Well, who knows? There might be a micro hedge fund in my future. We'll see.
Right now it's just the tips.
Exactly. It's just tips. And I'm not a money manager or an investor. I'm just trading stocks, and there's a really big difference. but it's been really fun. So I focus on under-followed stocks, low market caps, coupled with a quantitative approach to equity execution.
Look,
do you want to know
that.
what that means? Well, watch the trading bell and I'll tell you more.
That's awesome, yeah, because that's like Latin for most of us.
Well, it was Latin to me, and I was saying, I was like, I feel like I'm learning Chinese.
Yeah.
Ni hao and she, I have got it now. And a friend of mine I saw over the weekend, he pulled it up and he was saying, I saw the trading bell, but what's the difference between a bid and an ask? And I thought, I feel so empowered that I can answer that question.
That is so gangster. I feel like there should be, there is a TV show, a movie about that.
There will be. Oh. In fact, I saw Reese Witherspoon talking about it yesterday at the Golden Globes.
Really?
Yes. So I kid you not, I'm brainstorming this like brilliant, I think, idea about a live trading show because all of these girls play games live, right?
Okay.
Video games.
Right.
Who's trading stocks live? Like me and no one. So I was like, what if we call it the trading bell? BLLE.
Yeah.
Stroke of genius. It happened right there at happy hour. It was like channeling some sort of futures. All the puns intended. And I'm
awesome.
really excited about it. So I was watching the red carpet yesterday for the Golden Globes, and Reese Witherspoon mentioned one of her new favorite books, The Opening Bell, and they're making it a movie.
Oh my God, I didn't even know this book existed, so I'm gonna have to check it out now. She's making a movie about it. You have to, I think you deserve a starring role in that.
Oh, at least,
right?
a cameo. The real trading bell plays herself in The Opening Bell. It's
wow, that's so cool.
Good.
I love that you're doing this, Jess. So now I know where to come for all my stock tips. Are there any stocks right now that you're really loving? Any?
NTRP. I'm keeping a close eye on that. And SBPH, which I lovingly call my sexy, beautiful Prada handbag. So I'm taking
That's great.
I'm taking their names and then I'm abbreviating them for things that I want.
Oh, I love it. It's all about the acronyms, isn't it?
It really is.
It's a good conversation to have, especially after the holidays when I think people are feeling sometimes a little blue, a little down.
Post-holiday blues, I'm not going to lie, I've got them a little bit.
Do you?
I really do. And I'm the girl who likes to keep the tree out just a little too long, just to pretend like the holiday magic is still there. So what advice do you have on post-holiday blues?
Oh man, well I think first, I love that you keep the tree around. I mean, you know, if you love the tree, if there's something that makes you feel joyful, why not continue it into the rest of the year? I think that's always great. I think the other thing to be aware of is like, you know, Dan Gilbert, the guy that wrote the book Something on Happiness. He talks about the ways in which like our memory is very fallible. And so we have this two versions of ourselves. There's like the experiencing Jeslyn, and then there's like the remembering Jeslyn, and they're very different people. So the experiencing Jeslyn will have one kind of experience in the moment. But then when you remember that experience, you have a totally different memory than you did when you were going through it, right?
It's really interesting too, because I read that the post-holiday blues also can sometimes feel like a sign that your holidays weren't very fulfilling.
See, there you go, exactly. So it can be a bit of an expectation hangover, right? So part of I think the challenge and opportunity is to like do a deep dive and to reflect on what it was about the holidays that you genuinely loved and what it was about the holidays that maybe you didn't love so much. And then you can find those things you loved, whether it was values, whether it was meeting with people, or maybe it was just something to look forward to, and try to find ways to like integrate that into the rest of your year. That's one thing. If you find things that you didn't love around the holidays, how can you remove those things from your life more consistently? But I do think it requires some reflection, because I'd love to like just offer a like blanket statement of what people should do. But honestly, everybody experiences the holidays so differently. Like I loved being in Miami and away from like most of the holiday festivities. That was awesome for me. But most people would say, Rob, are you psycho? It's like, yeah,
no,
a little bit.
No,
psycho.
You're not.
Yeah.
Not at all. I love the holiday magic though, and I'm very sentimental.
Yeah.
That's why I keep the tree around a little bit too long. Or I enjoy hot wine. It's one of my favorite things. I like the carols. I listen to the Christmas music year round, and I make an extra.
Do you listen to year round? Yes.
I do. But it's a certain mood.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
I'm not Jingle Bells all the way through June, but every once in a while, just to really make me feel that holiday cheer.
Well, I love it. I mean, I think sometimes people have like Christmas in July events, and
Hallmark movies.
Totally. When I was a kid, we loved having like breakfast for dinner. Why not have Christmas in July or Hanukkah in June? I mean, I think there's something to be said for living your life in a way that lets you feel alive and lets you feel festive. And I think you can do that even in spite of it not being like an official national holiday, right? Yeah.
Who says you can only drink eggnog in December?
Exactly.
I don't know who made that rule.
I know.
I'll see you in February, eggnog.
By the way, I could never do the eggnog. It grossed me out. It sounds so good, but do you like eggnog?
I like it when it's spiced with rum in a certain cocktail. Yes.
I don't know how to prepare it properly. That's what it is.
I'll invite you over. Eggnog February. We'll redo the Christmas since you were in Miami and I was alone here in Los Angeles. Well, we have a very exciting show coming up with Adventure Girl herself. If one of your New Year's resolutions is to travel more, then you are not going to want to miss this segment. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more at EverTalk Live.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessamine Moyer. This is EverTalk Live, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. in the Ever Media Studios for a little Hollywood and happiness, positivity, and pop culture. On Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app, and of course, streaming live on all socials.
Yeah, I've got so much love in my life, and then I get to do this with you every single day. I mean, it's incredible.
If you have a dream, do not let anything stop you.
You can have all the money or all the success in the world, but if you don't have peace, it's all worthless, really, right?
Happiness from the inside out. Please be sure, if you haven't read this book,
That's sweet.
You've got to.
It's important to remember
What we do.
I do too, Jess.
Miracles. I'd like just my life to be an example that miracles exist. I am just so grateful that we get to be a part of this journey together, Rob, whether it's 4 a.m. texting up peanut butter and jellies or coming to you live Monday through Friday every 9 a.m. You know when you're going to see that, Eddie?
Yes.
When we're holding it in our own hands,
that's
Rob,
right.
for Best Digital Daytime Talk Show.
What makes people lucky, like actually lucky, is that they believe they're lucky.
Thank you for being my mentor, Rob.
Likewise.
You didn't even know it.
True. Yeah.
I'm out all the time. I'm everywhere. I'm drinking my wine. I'm doing the show. I'm stepping and repeating on some kind of red carpet. I had a little too much. I said, one drink Jeslyn. One drink Jeslyn. 2 tequila Jeslyn. 2 tequila Jeslyn.
1 drink Jazz.
Is this 1 drink Jeslyn? I hope you're proud, Rob.
I'm very
reading
proud
a
of you,
book.
actually. I don't know how you have the hair is killing it today.
Oh, thank you. Clearly, we have no fun around here. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Thought of the day: light, love, and magic. Oh, I do it fun. It was wild. Absolutely. Oh my God! Do you know we're still on live, Rob? Right now.
You gotta be kidding.
Talking to my angels.
Gosh, that's
love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, right? I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah,
we couldn't do what we do without the support of you watching. Thank you for sharing, for DMing, for commenting, for continuing to support us as we grow and scale our vision. For the people in the studio and their friends and families for having our backs. We're so grateful.
right. And I'm most deeply and genuinely grateful for you. Truly, I am, Jazz. It's just a pleasure every day to get to connect with you and work with you. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful for you. We love you, Rob Mack. There isn't a man or woman who hasn't met you and said you're the best dressed person in Los Angeles and the happiest guy we know. It's an honor to be able to do this show with you.
That.
Welcome back to EverTalk Live. I am so excited. If traveling is one of your New Year's resolutions, well, then I'm very excited to introduce the adventure girl herself. Stephanie Michaels is with us with some great travel tips on 2020. But first, I'm very curious.
Yes.
I mean, you are coined America's tweetheart. You've built one of the most recognizable brands universally. What was the impetus for all of this, for being adventure girl?
Well, that's a really interesting question. My parents took me on a plane when I was 3 months old to introduce me to their family back east. And they said all the babies on the plane were crying and I was cooing and giggling. And the flight attendants were playing with me because I was like a happy baby. And they said they knew I would have some sort of career in the travel business because I love being on a plane so much. And I still do love being on a plane. I know people say, oh, it's so cramped, it's so uncomfortable. But to me, it gets me to my place that I want to go. And it's like heaven for me just to be on a plane, and then also like to detach and to be disconnected from social media. I don't really want to be online when I'm up in the air. So yeah. No, I mean, I need a break. I need a break every now and then. So the plane is my break.
It's a really interesting concept, though, when we talked about this before the show. Being a wanderer at heart. Can you speak to that a little bit?
So I just have a theory that, when in the caveman days, when we all kind of began our journey on this planet, I feel like there were the ones that sat around the campfire, had the babies, just enjoyed that kind of life. And then there are the ones that were the hunters and the gatherers, and the ones that would go set up other villages or, war with other tribes or whatever it was. I think I'm that person. And, they say that in your DNA, you do have that sort of makeup. You're either kind of a stay home and kind of comfortable person that does that, or you're that kind of adventurer, that wanderer. I mean, they have theories about people who jump out of planes and who look for that,
the novelty
adrenaline, right?
Wow.
So I feel like there's also something in our DNA that keeps us going and wandering and pushing forward to look at new things and experience new things. So
I love this. So you had this sort of DNA, you're
think
born
so.
with it, and then at some point you made a decision to make it into a career. When was that decision?
Well, I was a journalist. I was in J school, and which is journalism school for those who don't know that. And I just thought I wanted to be a war correspondent. I've always wanted to tell people stories, and it just didn't really kind of pan out for me to get jobs doing that. It was a very competitive world at that point. And the travel thing just kind of fell into my lap. And it was one of the first 1,500 commercial websites online. I was like kind of a tech nerd. People don't really know that side of me, but I absolutely love technology. So, when people wanted to go to prom, I wanted to go game with my friends, play Miss Pac-Man or whatever. So, it just kind of was this thing where I'm like, well, why don't I start a website, which is what they called it in those days, and the World Wide Web, and bring people with me on adventures. So it started as Travel Partners was my first website. And then when I was on one of my journeys, people go, oh, so you're an adventure girl. And I was like, that's a really good brand. That's like a great name for a brand. And so I started writing under that moniker and created adventuregirl.com. And it just kind of grew from there. And then there was this little thing called Twitter.
Oh, boy. Yes.
And that it revolutionized what I was trying to already do, because I was already reaching out through emails and through chat rooms, like, what is it that you want to see me do, or where do you want to go, or how can I help you plan your trip, or whatever it was. But Twitter was instantaneous. So it was, I totally got it, right?
And you had one of the most fastest growing Twitter accounts of all time.
Yeah.
Second to reach over 1 million followers, just behind Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny because I believe at the time it was JetBlue and me, and then Virgin America got on board. And so we were like really the first 3 travel brands that were there on Twitter. And so we kind of were recognized just for being first. And that's kind of a trick to the trade too, like just try and get there first.
Yeah.
Even though it's really difficult, but it kind of cemented my brand. And then, I just listened to my followers and listened to what they wanted me to do and where to go. And it just gave me that freedom that I'd always really wanted, like by talking to my people,
So who's curating your travel agenda? Your followers or you?
Right now, well, it's different because, as you grow and you change and you expand, like I can't be everywhere every time, any time of the day. So I actually have writers that write for me as well. And so what I did was I opened up the platform so that I would give people another means or another avenue for them to place their stories, because we know what's kind of going on in traditional media and what's happening with magazines. So I wanted to give people a platform and an opportunity to still keep traveling and still placing their stories. So they do that now with Adventure Girl. So it's not just me curating content. I've opened up the brand so that other people can do the same.
Incredible. So what else would you say, you sort of shared so many fantastic tips there just on how you built your brand in terms of, finding a great team, also getting in first, listening to your audience. Are there any other tips you'd offer folks that maybe want to build their brand, whether it's something in travel or something different?
Yeah, well, I think you need to know that not every day is going to be perfect and not every day is going to be wonderful, and that
But it looks like it on Instagram.
This is true.
You just have to be authentic. I know you hear that all the time, being authentic, but really the whole point that a lot of talent has always searched for was to have an avenue or a place to express ourselves. So why kind of hide the bad with, you know what I mean? Like there are days that we all have like bad days, or if we don't get a job, or, there's just, we wake up on the wrong side of the bed. There's just things like that. So, I think it's about being authentic, and I think it's about being open and just taking the bad. Like, listen, I've had some really bad days where I've been on the floor crying and where I've wanted to quit Adventure Girl. It's like, I didn't move forward today. I just but you get off the floor, you slap your knee and you say, I'm just gonna, make this happen. Or you talk to a friend that says, you've come so far, don't give this up.
Go see someplace new.
Yeah, go say.
Soak in the jet fuel.
Absolutely, smell the jet fuel.
Yes.
And I suffer from depression like everybody else does, and I'll have those really bad days, and I go to NKLA, the animal shelter, that no-kill animal shelter, and I wander through the animals and I pet them, or I spend time in the cat room or whatever, and I feel like, God, these animals have been through so much, and if they can be so wonderful back to humans and give back, and selfishly I'm taking their love, then, and I have 5 animals at home of my own, but it's just like perspective. I feel like, sometimes brands need perspective, and so that's kind of how I kind of solve some of my bad days. I'll just go tuck in somewhere and go pet animals or go to the zoo or do something like that.
Has anything surprised you about this journey in business and life? Like anything you just didn't know was coming or didn't expect it to include?
Wow, that's a really great question. I think you don't expect the highs that are so high, and that, you've worked so hard to get up to that high, and then the lows being so low. I feel like there are those days where it's really great, it's very, very smooth, but then there's those, those jerk-ups and then the turbulence. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Every now and then. Yeah. It's a coffee
yeah. Then you experience the turbulence and you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that. Like I always thought the ride was a little more like this.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Like takeoff.
Takeoff. Yeah, like taking off. And, you do hit that cruising altitude. Oh, God, we're going to go here.
Yes. It's good.
But at the same time, you don't expect all the bumps, and I feel like entrepreneurs go into the business thinking, oh, it's going to be all so great and glorified, but it's really not. It's work. You show up, and the other thing I think you really have to have, and a lot of people talk about this, is passion. You have to get up on those really crappy days and say, you know what, I'm going to keep doing this, because even though it's not gratifying or fulfilling, you just really need to do it, right? And then also you have your fans or your friends or the people, like, for example, here, you watch your show, there's a commitment to them as well, to make it work. So.
Well, I'm committed to you. Stay committed to us. We'll be back with more on EverTalk Live.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm your host, Jez Mouillet, aka The Trading Bell. What a morning it will be. Due to recent news, we're expecting that the market will be down today, but that could potentially present some opportunity for us. Let's take a look at our watch list. One of the things that differentiates the Trading Bell from any of the other stock shows, other than we do live trading, is everything that we do is on camera, so you can see it as it happens. You are seeing what's happening right now in this moment. 2020, it's all about money, money, money. That is my motto. Remember, money never sleeps, pal. That's right. That's why I'm here trading in Los Angeles live with you at the opening bell. Whew, sun is not even up yet. but the stocks are on the move. Numbers are moving faster than I can even speak. Well, let's face it, I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I've got goosebumps. This is a history in the making. Top of the list, SVRA, up 154% this morning. Build BVI at 162. Ah, that feels good. BPH, Spring Baked Pharmaceuticals, up 22%. That is going to make for a very sweet start to 2020. Filled. Woo! That feels good. Just a disclaimer, this is an entertainment show, so please don't treat any of the information you hear on the show as an investment advice, because trading is risky. What's on the year strong? Visit EverTalk TV, Facebook, or Instagram at The Trading Bell. Remember, every dream has its price. What's yours? Welcome back to EverTalk Live. We are here with adventure girl herself, Stephanie Michaels. She calls the world her home. So Stephanie, I have got to know, what is next on your bucket list? Where are you going in 2020?
So it looks like I'm going to be in Kentucky for some bourbon run.
That is
Yes.
not
That is
what
unexpected, is it?
I thought it was going to be something super exotic.
You're thinking Paris.
And then you said, yes, sorry.
My favorite city.
Kentucky.
No, I'm going to Kentucky, and then after that, I'm going to go. I am going to do a little something for my birthday. Every year, I go to Europe or do something cool.
Yeah.
And so in June, I'm going to Budapest and Bucharest, and there's a 7-hour drive. Instead of hopping on a plane, we're going to kind of down and go to Bosnia-Herzegovina and do some, hit some other countries to mark off my list.
You make a good point, though, about Kentucky as well. I mean, I think sometimes we think of travel and we think it has to be exotic, and we want it to be exotic, but maybe we can't afford it right then and there. We don't have the time. So what is it about Kentucky that you love? Are you into the Derby? Are you into other things?
The horse racing thing, I guess, a little bit there.
Yeah.
I'm being an animal person.
Exactly.
No, I love bourbon. So, I mean, hello, draws me right to there.
So you're going for the bourbon.
Hello. Yes, yeah, bourbon. Also, my cousins are going, so it's kind of a family thing. So that's the first thing. And then, I agree with you. I mean, there's times in LA when I'm home and I'm like, I just want to hop on that little red bus and go tour. I love people who come to visit me because I get to show them around. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how cool this city is. It's like, so there's just different things. I mean, I feel like, people come from all over the world to go visit somewhere like Kentucky or Texas or California. Why not me? Like, I'm even though I'm American, I can absolutely take in these 50 states, right?
Totally.
What have been some of your top destinations here in the U.S.?
Wow. Okay, so I really love Fredericksburg, Texas. Not a lot
Again,
of people know about
Yes, yes. He knows all the little gems.
Okay, so it's right outside of Austin, in between Austin and San Antonio, and it's their wine country.
Oh.
And a lot of Californians have moved there now that have kind of dabbled in the wine country and set up shop there, and they're producing some really great wines. There's a place called 4.0 Cellars, and you can go wine taste all the different wineries that are in the region, and they have these little things called Sunday homes, and they're almost like little guest houses. And they started way, way back in the teens when the farmers would come in to go to church and they would need a place to stay overnight. So there would be these little guest houses set up for them.
Wow.
So they're like, it's so romantic. I mean, the way they've set them up now, modernized them, they put fireplaces in it, and it's just wonderful. It's just a great, little go-to. I know.
Yeah.
And then, if you really want a bigger city, you can go to San Antonio for a couple days or Austin for a couple days and kind of flank it with, Fredericksburg in the middle.
I have so many girlfriends who are raving about Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably the last person to still not have been to Nashville. Do you
It's
think
so
that's going
fun.
to still be the trendy spot to go in
Well,
2020?
Nash Vegas is what we
Nash
call it.
Vegas.
Yes, I have property there. So
Why Nash Vegas? Why is it?
Because it's a party town
Yeah.
now, and Whiskey Row, which is like their main downtown, which is it's only like 2 blocks or whatever.
Yeah.
Is like it's the #1 bachelorette destination because they so we're not kind of used to driving around to states because it takes us so long to get somewhere.
Yeah, no.
So we're like,
I don't have
no.
time for that.
But most people in the South and Midwest are drivers, and so they'll get in their car and they'll drive 6 hours.
God, my dad, he would just
Yeah.
get up
Right?
at 4 a.m. and drive there.
Right. So it's within 17 states driving distance. So you've got people coming from all over the country that are coming in to celebrate their bachelorette party. So, weekends kind of can get crazy, but, there's some really cool spots like Franklin or Brentwood, Tennessee, I always tease my husband because I'm like, we've exchanged Brentwood, California for Brentwood, Tennessee. You know, it's like, but it's absolutely one of my favorite places to go.
Wow, love this. So if somebody wants to maybe like weave a little more travel and adventure into their life, what tips would you have for those people? Anything they should or could be doing, particularly?
Oh, wow.
Day and age?
Yeah, you know, just save your money. You know, pick a spot. Don't wait. You know, don't waver and go, oh, I could go to Hawaii, or I could go here, I could go there. Just pick one spot and then focus on that spot, and then get there, and then do whatever you want to do there, and then check that off your list. And then the next, don't try and do too much. You know, I have a bunch of European friends, and like they want to come visit California, or they want to come visit Arizona, and they think that they could do like 10 states within, you know, a matter of a week. I'm like, no. Come and see one thing or two things first. And then, you know, let that be your entree. And I say that about Europe too, because a lot of people want to go to Europe from America and they want to, you know, pick up like 10 countries. And I'm like, no, like, pick one, maybe two.
And be
then
present
enjoy.
and enjoy.
Absolutely.
Taste
Don't run
it.
through it. You know, I mean, if you're on that kind of pace, you know, like some of these adventure companies or whatever, they'll try and do that. They'll try and fit in as much. But I feel like you lose so much because the place is about the locals.
Yeah.
It's not just about seeing things. You know, the people make the place. I mean, I don't know if you guys feel that way.
Totally, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, back down a little bit.
One of my kind of secret tricks is that when I go to a place, I love to read their local paper.
Oh.
I'm a sucker for a newspaper.
Okay.
I'm
me
very
too. I love
sentimental and
that.
nostalgic.
Wow, you've got an
Yeah.
old soul.
I
love
do.
this.
And over my coffee, I like to read the local paper because I want to see where the locals are going, the restaurants that are advertising there, what the people are selling, what's in their classifieds.
Yes.
It speaks so much about that place.
And I love going to a pharmacy. That's my favorite thing. Like if you want to go kind of, I know it's really
Pharmacy.
Yeah. It's the pharmacy. I love going because I love seeing the different products that we can't get here. Sometimes they're better. And then you kind of see the locals there, and you can ask questions to them. Pharmacy is a little more intimate than like a grocery store. Some people like to go to the grocery store to meet up with the locals.
See, I definitely at the bookstore. Question
So you're a
about it, 'cause there are books that you
Okay,
can't get here in the
really?
States.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's a
Fascinating.
really cool
Yeah.
thing to do too.
I
Yeah.
overlooked the pharmacy thing though. That's
The
Yeah,
pharmacies
that's a good one.
are awesome.
And the newspaper.
And the
now we know.
newspaper.
And the
Huge.
newspaper, yeah, that's great. I love that.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We are so excited to continue to follow your adventures. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow and learn more about you. And your
AdventureGirl.com. I'm always on Instagram, so Instagram/AdventureGirl. And you know, just write me letters, email me.
Send you DMs?
DM me.
you
Yeah,
go.
absolutely.
Well, adventure is on my list for 2020, so I will definitely.
Yeah,
be
we're gonna be
following
talking.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
exactly. We are EverTalk Live, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Of course, you can follow along on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all the things, and on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app.
That's right. Send that Venture Girl DM, send us DMs. We love you guys tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day on purpose.
Happy Monday!
Monday. Thank you.